Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Let me know if you guys can hear me. So, we're going to be doing a live stream today. I got my friend Wildflower Tea on. Let me go ahead and bring her over. Can you guys see both of us, hear me? I'm going to bring her in just a little bit, but we're going to be talking about Gabbie Hanna. As you guys know, if you follow what's going on with Gabbie Hanna, you guys probably know that it seems like she's been going through some sort of potential mental breakdown lately, and kind of everybody on the internet is talking about it. So I have some thoughts. Me and Wildflower Tea. Now she's followed Gabbie Hanna. I haven't really until this all kind of popped off, but she has. So she knows a little bit more about, I think, Gabbie Hanna's like kind of background, because Wildflower, you've actually covered her before, correct? I thought so. Before we get started, I do want to say that, in my personal opinion, she is suffering from several mental disorders, and she talks about that on her TikTok. So that's not a secret or anything. When I was watching her TikToks, I noticed she said she has DID, ADHD, depression, anxiety, and OCD. So those are some of the things that she claims that she has. So I do want to be cautious, and I know that Wildflower Tea does as well, as to how we cover this. We want to cover it in the most sensitive way possible, considering what's happening. Um, yeah, we're both going to just try to be extremely sensitive. She is a public figure. She has over 7 million followers on TikTok. So obviously, her going on TikTok and talking. Okay, they can't hear you. I need to unmute you. I had you muted. Now can y'all hear her?
Can you hear me?
Now they
Hey,
can. I think
everybody.
I think they can now. I actually had you muted.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
that's wild. Okay, well, while ago when I asked her if she's covered Gabbie Hanna, she said yes, that she's actually covered her, and it's kind of been a wild ride covering her. Just let you guys let me know really quick in the chat if you guys can hear her now. Now we can.
Gotta
Okay.
love live stream technical difficulties.
It's gonna happen to me every time. Every time
Me too.
I'm gonna be muted. I'm gonna mute someone. My camera's not gonna work right, or I'm gonna go live and then my phone's gonna go to blaring really loud, or I'm gonna forget to turn the
Right.
speaker down. It always happens.
I know the feeling, girl. I know it all too well.
Yes, it's all the time. Okay, so Gabbie Hanna, anybody that's not familiar with who she is, she started out on Vine several years ago, like before 2017 when Vine was a thing. And I think she kind of started out more towards the like, it was like more comedy what she was geared to from what I was reading.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
did you know her back then, or did you get to know her like follow her
Well, I
later on?
didn't know her back then, but then I started following her when she became a part of the Vlog Squad with David Dobrik. And from there, of course, her vines are all over YouTube now. So I've seen a great deal of them, and majority of them were lifestyle or comedy type, that type of vibe. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I got kind of to know who she was through the Vlog Squad. And then, of course, she had her own channel as well, where she separated when she separated from them and branched out. And that's when I fell in love with her. I knew who she was, but then the Gabbie show became a thing, and I really liked her solo.
Right.
Um,
And that's
so
on
that was,
YouTube. YouTube when she
yeah,
the Gabbie show is actually still on YouTube, right? She still has that on YouTube,
yes.
right?
But then for a long time, I fell in love with the character she played. And then when she came out several years back saying, like, this was a character, this wasn't really who I was. I know a lot of people do that on the internet. But from then and her showing her real self and everything, there's been a lot of controversies, since.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like a lot of times when she has like an album coming out, because she has kind of crossed over to do music, she's released, I don't know
Yeah.
if their albums are like solos or whatever it is, but she's released music in 2017, 2019, 2020, and recently in 2022. And from what I was
Yes.
reading, a lot of times right before she releases music, something will happen, like she'll have
Oh
like,
yeah, every time, every single time she'll troll a little bit, or she'll get into some type of a controversy or drama with another YouTuber, creator, influencer, and to promote. And she's admitted that, she's openly, like, publicly admitted to getting attention, just somewhat like Trisha Paytas does, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Now, has she ever done anything like this where she pretended to have like a mental breakdown of any sort? Because I've seen people saying that, like, oh, well, she's got new
Right.
music coming out, so this is all her trolling us to get attention so she can promote her music. Has she ever done anything like this before her music comes
Not
out?
like this. This is something she's never done anything like this. This is definitely different from someone who has followed her for several years. She has trolled before to promote her music, and she has, like, she did a whole series last year, and there was a bit of trolling going on with that whole situation. But the problem is, from where I stand, my perspective, of course, everything I say is my opinion based off of what I've seen. But she's not good at trolling because she is one of those types of people that feels and cares too much and feels everything. So even when she did try and attempt to troll, it would always backfire and affect her mentally. And she actually ended up having to take like a 6 months hiatus the last time she tried to troll because it affected her, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So she tries to, but nothing like this. What's currently happening and has been happening the last several weeks, she has never done anything to this extent.
right. See, that's what I was thinking because, like I said, well, to be fair, I went back and watched several YouTube videos. Even this morning, I was like watching people's YouTube videos just to kind of see what their perspectives would be on this. Like people that normally was kind of critical of her, if they were saying, "Oh, she's faking," it's because of the music that's coming out. There's only one person that I've seen that has said that thus far. Everyone else seems to be on the same page. Like, while she may
Right.
have trolled in the past, we don't think she's trolling and we are worried about her. It really seems like
Yes.
she is going through like a manic state and she has been over the past. Yeah, that's what I said. If she's faking, she deserves an Oscar because there was
Yeah.
nothing that I saw on those TikToks that made me feel like she was faking.
No, no. And as someone who has followed her for a long time, you know, I've went through moments where, like I said, I supported her for a very long time, and then she has done things. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sitting up here saying she's not done things to be criticized for. But the thing is about it with Gabbie Hanna is when she has trolled in the past, and this isn't an excuse, it's just what I have seen, it's always been because of the hate. It's like, well, people want to call me this. People want to say this about me. So let me be that. Much like Trisha Paytas, it's the same kind of thing. Trisha, you know, has gotten a lot of
Mm-hmm.
hate. So she utilized that and took that negative attention to promote herself. And Gabbie did the same, or attempted to do the same thing, but it affected her mentally. And the one thing I will say when it comes to Gabbie is, for a very long time, it's been apparent to me that she does struggle mentally.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that that is an act. And, you know, it has always bothered me, not just with Gabbie, but in general, when people want to diagnose or, you know, we're all strangers. We don't know each other. So to say someone's mocking mental health or
Right.
someone's, you know, it's like you don't know this person or what they deal with or struggle with, just like they don't know what you deal with or struggle with. So to say that they're not really going through something, it's just, I hate that. Or diagnosing people. That's another thing. It's like you don't know, you know?
Right, right. That's the way that I think about it. Like I said, out of all the videos that I've watched, everyone seems to be kind of on the same page that they think that she's really having like a mental breakdown or she's in a manic state right now. There was one creator that I did watch that said, "I don't believe it. I think she's trolling. I think she's making a mockery out of this." And my thing is like, okay, you can have your opinion, and that's okay. But what if you are wrong? Because in the video, this creator was saying like that she suffers from mental health disorders as well, and she knows what it's like for people not to believe you and for people to attack you, and things such as that. And I'm like, but in the same sentence, you're basically saying you don't believe this lady. So I would just be fearful to say that she was trolling for the
Yeah.
sure fact
Or
that what if,
mocking mental health, you know,
you know,
because we don't know that.
right? Because what if
And
you're
there
wrong?
is a history of anyone that's followed her for any amount of time, like, no, we cannot diagnose her. She said some things, yes, but at the end of the day, she does struggle and has been diagnosed with mental health issues. like this is a public known thing that she has spoke about. So to say she is mocking something like that, it's just not true. She really does have issues.
Yeah, that's what I heard her say on when I was going through all the TikToks. I heard her say like, I have DID. Um, I heard her say she has depression, ADHD, anxiety, and OCD. And to have all of those things, like I have a son with that's ADHD, um, and I have one that's autistic. That's got OCD as well. I couldn't imagine, one person having all of these: DID, ADHD, depression,
No,
anxiety, OCD,
absolutely not.
and then
That's just
right now,
breaks the heart.
yeah, and then if, say, for instance, maybe she is not properly medicated at the time, and how you could just someone like that could spiral so easily. I know for me, we have family members that I have. Sean's had a cousin that was paranoid schizophrenic, and I have a family member as well that's paranoid schizophrenic, and um, several other things that I couldn't even list all of them because it's several things. And with both of our family members, they would get on the proper medication for a while and think that they were fine and that they didn't need their medication. So then they would stop it and they would spiral. But literally,
Right.
it was the same thing. They would get on the medication, they would be on it for months, and then they would think, "Oh, I'm good. I don't need to be. I don't need to be on this medicine anymore. Like I'm fine." And they would get off of it, and
Yep.
they would just spiral, and they would go into this state to where they were. Uh, my family member would talk about religion a lot as well, like how I noticed that she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yep.
I don't know if that's kind of a normal thing for people to, dissect religion or start talking about religion so much, but I know that my family member did. Um,
Well, and
so,
like I told you before when we were talking about this yesterday, I believe it's my belief that whenever you're going through something, especially if you have mental health issues, religion is one of those things where it's like if you sit and you think about it long enough, you can really send yourself into a spiral.
right.
And when you're struggling with something mentally, whether that's bipolar depression or, schizophrenia, whatever it may be, you're seeking answers on as to why this is happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think on that too hard, of course, your existence comes into play and you question things. And I do understand why religion becomes a topic that a lot of people, for especially Gabbie Hanna, like I can see how she could sit there after everything that she's went through, whether it's been self-inflicted or, just hate trolls, whatever.
Right.
It's been a lot. And I could see how if you're isolated and you have all this time to think and research, how you could make yourself believe the things that she believes.
Yeah, absolutely. I do too, because one thing that I noticed watching her TikToks is she obviously lives alone. Her family doesn't live close to her. I did find her little sister's TikTok, and she commented on this, just saying like, "We live here, she lives there. We're doing what we can do, but we don't live close enough to really like physically be
Right.
there to do anything." So I think she's just
Yeah. And
sitting
they
in her
don't
house.
have, yes. And they, in the past, I don't know where it's at now, but in the past, they've had, there's been a lot of family issues there. And her friend circle is extremely small as well. So it's like, the, essentially, she is all alone.
Mm-hmm.
And even myself, or, the average person, I think a lot of us do turn to our faith and our religion to get us through hard times. And it's no different with someone with mental illness. The only difference is, you can send yourself in that spiral if you're also, like I can totally see how you could spiral and think about it too much until you make yourself believe these outlandish
Yeah,
things.
absolutely. Um, so all of this started to go with Gabbie, where she really kind of started causing concern was about a week ago on her TikTok. She started posting these TikToks where she was like standing in the mirror and she was yelling and she started talking about God. She started calling God Dad, which, some people do refer to God as the Father. She was referring to God as Dad and Mary as Mother. There was a TikTok where she said she found the Garden of Eden in her backyard. Over the course of the past few days, well, on the 22nd, I went back and I counted. On the 22nd, when all of this kind of started, She did 7 TikToks. On the next day, the 23rd, she did 21. On the 24th, she did 146 TikToks. And that's the day that Nicholas, the guy, the stranger, showed up at her house and she let him in. And then the day after that, she did 7. And then she did 0. She did 0 on the 26th. She did 40 on the 27th. And she done 23 on the 28th. And she, from what when I checked, like, oh, she hadn't done any in the past 2 days.
Yeah.
But it did look like on the 28th, I think it was, the last time she did post, it seemed like she was kind of calming down. There were even like rumors going around that where she said that maybe she faked this. But in my personal opinion, if she's ever come out to say that she faked it, one thing that I heard is her saying that the cops have been called numerous times. They've sent like nurses over to do psych evaluations on her. It makes me wonder if maybe she's saying like, okay, I'm being dramatic a little bit. I'm faking some of this just to kind of get the pressure off her now, because now like the cops are being called and it's a big thing. So maybe that's why she's kind of, if she has said that she's faking it, but I haven't really seen anything where she
Yeah, me
particularly said that
neither.
she was. So
I've not seen her say that anywhere. And I did like look just to make sure because I've been keeping up with it as well. I know there's a lot of people that believe that because of the fact that she has kind of crashed or have this come down. But that is also a sign of mania and stuff as well. Not that I'm diagnosing her, but she has said herself that she's very manic
mm-hmm.
and very like there's a word for it, hyper something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she is a very, on a regular basis, a very high strung, high energy person. And you know, has been known to be manic for quite some time. I think in one of the last TikToks that she did do, she mentioned how her therapist apparently has mania as well and goes through those manic states and had told her that being manic isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's how you utilize that time that matters. Um,
Oh, that makes sense.
but yeah, and I think that's very true. It's like, if it is something that you're going to have to deal with for the rest of your life, how you utilize that time is really important,
Right.
because you can send yourself in these spirals. And the thing that just breaks my heart is that there isn't more people there to kind of help her in those moments. I think that's the saddest part because
Yeah.
all of us watching this as the public, you know, I know so many of us wish that there was something we could do to help her.
Yeah, and what you were saying about someone that could help her. When she started this, a lot of people were leaving comments saying like, "Oh, someone needs to help her. Someone needs to help her," which is the reason the little Nicholas guy decided to show up at her house. Or at least that's what he said. He said, "Well, you guys were all saying that she needed help, so I showed up at her house to help." But
Right.
really, he didn't do anything to help.
Nope.
He just showed up, and ironically, she was filming, I guess, or when she answered the door, and so was he. And he said that he needed to use the bathroom and was like a little lost. So that's another reason why I don't think this is fake. Because if she was faking this for, if she was, Gabbie's 21 years old, if she was faking this for the views and clicks and whatever, and to promote herself and her album, I don't think she would have let a stranger into her house and then dance, with him and do all these TikToks and
Right. Absolutely. Like,
yeah, that was dangerous.
yeah, yeah. And I did also see that she said, that Nicholas guy, he had came in under false pretenses,
Mm-hmm.
but apparently, according to her, there were other people after him that also showed up, fans of hers, maybe, I don't know, who showed up doing the same thing in the last several days. And I can't say if their intentions were to help her or not, if they thought maybe, okay, if I go there and spend time with her and hang out, at least she won't be alone. Maybe I can help her come down, make her eat, drink. Like, I know
Right.
that's what that Nicholas guy said. Um, and I understand that, but at the same time, when someone is in that kind of state, it's very sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And furthermore, with the Nicholas guy, there's no okay, you went there to help. So then why did you film her whole entire home, all of her personal belongings, and post it on TikTok?
Right.
How is that helping
Right.
her?
Exactly. So a while ago I said she was 21. I meant she is 31. My math was not math, and Denise, I also thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Is he claiming that he went there to help her? The fact that he filmed himself outside of the house, like I'm at Gabbie Hanna's house, and then he was filming himself in the bathroom. He filmed himself, petting her dog and all around the house, like, oh look, and chilling with Gabbie
Her
Hanna.
walls, I mean, it was everything in her back. I'm like, this isn't there's no way you could say that this is helping. And he even admitted on TikTok that he was doing it, posting it on TikTok to get attention on it. But anyone that knows who he is and what he's doing already is watching Gabbie and already knows. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, that's not helping in any way except for giving you clicks and views and attention.
Right. Yeah, if he would have not posted any of this and really been a fan of hers, but still, I just want to put this out. There's never okay to show up at somebody's house just because they're on a public platform. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because, like I have a lot of followers, and I'm sure you do too as well, Wildflower, that you see in the chat and you know their names and you talk to them. And some you may even talk to, maybe a couple of them have your phone number that you text or through email. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it still would be wild for people to just show up at your house unannounced and you not know for sure, like,
Absolutely.
wait, who are you again? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? It would be, and
Hmm.
even more so if these are followers that you've never heard from. They just show up at your
Yeah.
door and they're like, well, he pretended like he didn't know her. But if he really was worried about her, and because maybe he was a big time Gabbie Hanna fan, just say, just saying, and he
Yeah.
thought, oh my gosh, I need to help her. He would have told the truth when she answered the door. Hey, Gabbie, I've been following you since blah, 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 blah. I love your music. I've been watching you on TikTok the past few days. And I just kind of wanted to know if I could hang out with you and maybe we could pray together and maybe we could go
Yeah.
get something to eat together. I'll buy it, I'll pay whatever and not film it and not be posting it all over social media because that to me showed that his intentions were not pure, that he was doing it obviously
Yes.
for clout. He was, that was
I
the reason
think
he was
that,
doing it.
yeah, I think you're right. And I think that another, just my opinion, but I believe that once he got in, maybe if he was a fan, which I assume that he is, if he was following her and watching her to some extent, he obviously is some kind of a fan or viewer of
Right.
hers. And I think he got in there and maybe got starstruck and was like, oh my gosh, I'm in Gabbie's house. Wow, look at this. You guys won't believe this. Like, I'm really here. And that wasn't the moment for that. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? And furthermore, like you said, it, the average person, I don't think anyone would be okay with someone just showing up at their door unannounced, fan or not. You know, that's scary and you're going to feel unsafe.
Right. Because you
And
don't you
so
don't know who
Gabbie
they
feeling,
are. You don't know who they are.
yeah, Gabbie feeling unsafe, it completely makes sense to me because this Nicholas guy wasn't the only one to show up like that. And I'm sure that is a very scary feeling to have people just showing up to your house, knocking on the door, and taking your kindness for a weakness or taking advantage of that when you're in
Right.
a bad mental state.
And the scary thing about it is that she accepted him into the house and then she hung out with him for a while and she was posting TikToks. I'm actually gonna try to show some. I'm gonna try to show. Are you okay with that? Do they have? Can you show TikToks on YouTube? Like they can't copyright you, can they?
No, I think as long as there's not music, I've never had any problems with it. I know there's some pretty, some of them can are a little sensitive, because she was really like spam TikToking. I don't know what the word is, but it was every 5 minutes there for a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them were really, really could be possibly triggering to some people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know it was hard for me to watch. It was uncomfortable for me to watch some of them just because in my heart and soul, I do believe that she genuinely believes the things that she's saying. I do not think that
Yeah.
she is trolling. You don't just make these things. If you're going to troll, there's so many things you could do. This is not it. This is
Right.
not it.
Right. Yeah. Acting like you're suffering a mental
So
breakdown.
detailed. Yeah, and such detail that she went into in these TikToks. She thought about these things. That is not trolling.
Right. Yeah. There's nothing in me. I mainly wanted to show the ones where the guy showed up at her house and how she just let him in, and then she,
Oh yeah, yeah.
the
But I'm
one.
comfortable, whatever, whatever you want to share. I've seen them all. I just wanted to, I know not everyone's seen it. A lot of people's talked about it. Not a lot of
Mhm.
people's been sharing the actual TikToks. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to let people know some of them could potentially be a bit triggering.
I think the one with the boy, in my opinion, probably the one concerning like him being at the house, the one that would probably be triggering is the last one, when she realizes that he knows her and that he's lied.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
she got a little scary in that one when she came. All the ones
Yes.
from her opening the door and them hanging out, it was just like, oh, he's great. Because one of her friends called and was like, get that man out of your house. And she was
Hmm.
like, she does a TikTok and she's like, my friend wants me to kick you out, and she's like, but we're good. Like he's good. I know my friend got good intentions, but you got good intentions, and so she was just
It's,
so incredibly like nice to him, and it was like it didn't even
hmm,
register to her that this guy could potentially be dangerous. Like
yeah.
it was
And
very
that's another
strange.
thing that a lot of people are fearful with her because her emotions do change quite often. And she'll go from extremely happy to extremely upset to extremely sad. There's very much highs and lows, and they're very quick. You never know, like she'll be okay one moment and then the next minute it's downhill. And that's another reason I do not think that this is a trolling thing. you know, I just pray for her, honestly, because there's something going on. I don't know what,
Right.
but it's scary to see, so I can only imagine being her.
Right. What you just explained, I think, sounds a little bit like emotional adjustment disorder, which is obviously where you have trouble, obviously, adjusting your emotions. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and show. I'm gonna see if I can. It's gonna take us off the screen, you guys, and we're gonna go over to the TikTok really quick. But I'm gonna try just to go show the ones that are just of her letting the guy in and him being there, and then when she realizes that he lied to her and she kicks him out. I think those are the only ones, because those are the ones to me that, well, not the only ones, but those definitely show me that this is not something that she's faking. There are many others. If
Yes.
you guys you want to go, follow her on TikTok and watch. I think anybody that watched these TikToks, that I don't know how anybody could watch them and think that she's trolling. I really don't.
Same. Same.
Um,
I think what the problem is a lot of people aren't actually seeing the TikToks themselves. They're just listening to people commentate on it. And, in any situation, it's very important to do your own research. If you are following this story and what is going on with her, I do recommend checking them out. It can be a little uncomfortable, but if you have doubts if she's trolling or if this is real, just go watch it for yourself and gather your own opinions because
right.
it's very apparent to me that this is not a trolling situation or that she's mocking anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't see how anyone would be able to think that. I'm going to switch over to her TikTok and see if I can find the one where she first let the guy in. I think it was this one. Nicholas? Hey, Nicholas? Do you mind being on camera or you don't want to?
I don't mind.
Okay, so I want to, oh my God, my hair. A friend just texted me and I told him that I was going to go on a run for a guy who showed up at my house and was just feeling a little lost, asked to use the bathroom, and now we're going to go for a run together. He asked to pray with me. It was really nice. And his text was, Gab, listen to me now. Get that man out of your house. How do you feel about that?
That's rude.
It's kind of rude, isn't it?
Rude.
I think he meant well. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean well.
What? Not, he means well. We know he means well. My friend who texted me and told me to get the stranger out of my house, I think he meant well too.
Yeah, I think so.
But Nicholas is good. And we're gonna go for a run because we already prayed and had our coffee
prayed.
and listened to music.
Yes.
I'm so happy I met you this morning.
Yes.
Thank you for knocking on my door, Nicholas.
Yes.
You are a brother in Christ.
Brother in Christ.
Fuck yes, he
Yes.
is. Nicholas? I'm actually going to turn the music out of that one. They're not talking, they're just dancing, but I don't want to get any copyright anything. They're dancing again. This is very strange.
I agree.
Super strange.
To me.
With Nicholas. I literally solved the entire puzzle. The Garden of Eden is heaven's gates. Let me show you something. It was a fucking treasure hunt. The church that I went to, the website says that I need to use my time, my talent, and my treasure. It was a treasure hunt. I can believe this, because God is this fucking awesome. It was a treasure hunt for the Garden of Eden, heaven's gates. Oh my God, you want to see the forbidden fruit? That is a lantana berry. It didn't grow the first 3 years I lived here because my gardener was chopping down my trees. And then there was all this drama and I had to grow up a lot and I was really embarrassed and the entire neighborhood thinks I'm white trash. I am. I don't give a fuck. So it finally grew and I realized it had berries on it. So I was like, can I eat lantana berries? So I Googled lantana berries. Are they safe to eat? And it said basically there's a 50-50 shot. And some people say you shouldn't, but other people said it's fine. So I had the choice to eat those berries or don't. And I consciously made the decision that every child that would come into this house, that I would make sure they knew to not fucking touch those berries, no matter how tasty they look. I literally found the fucking Garden of Eden. I literally, literature is the alley, found the fucking Garden of motherfucking Eden. My good God and my mother of God. I don't care that they think I'm crazy because we know the fucking truth, you fucking sick, hypocritical motherfucker.
I'm really sorry, you guys. I probably should have definitely done a trigger warning about the cursing as well. I'm sorry. Let's watch the next one.
You guys really thought that license plates weren't code? And you told me I was fucking crazy for seeing it because you were too scared? Because you haven't talked to daddy in a long time because you've been a bad little girl. You guys really thought?
The sound does not play on this one. I'm not really sure what it is, but even in the comment section, people's like, from the comments from this one, she's saying some off the wall stuff, I think, but I can't hear it for some reason.
I laugh and talk to myself all day. Nick.
Yes.
Nicholas. How happy are we?
So happy.
I know that
woman
one of them, I
was
think
too
TikTok took the audio off because she was saying some really crazy stuff in it.
Was it this one?
Is she crying? I can't see it.
Oh, you can't see it? Oh my goodness.
Mm-mm.
That's right, you can't see it. This one, she's like walking through the kitchen and he's like ducked behind the door. Not ducked behind the door. He's standing behind the door on his phone, and then she calls him out. I don't remember, but that one's got music in it either way. She's not crying in that one.
Stop. This is a stranger.
Oh, yeah, I remember. She did a couple, which I'm sure you're going to show. I'll just wait. I'll wait till you get done showing them. We can
Can you
talk
hear
about it.
them? Can you hear them?
I can hear them. I just
Okay.
can't see them.
Okay, I totally forgot. I gotta figure out how to do it normally. Okay, so this one she makes a big deal because she's like, you guys, look at this. And she's like, Nicholas, what were you just doing? And he's like, sharing my water with you. But he's like,
That's what I was fixing to say. I just didn't know if you had showed it yet. But that one, he says that the reason why is because he was trying to get her to drink water, trying to get her to, I don't know what the drinking. A lot of people's been saying drink water, drink water. I guess assuming that maybe she is on
Yeah.
something or something like that. But yeah, her response to that's just something else.
Yeah, that he shared the water that's in your house that you're giving him. Technically, you're sharing your water with him, and then he's just pouring a
And
little
she
bit
said
back in your.
something about bots and just like
Yes.
starts laughing.
Yeah, she says something about bots. Yeah, it's really weird.
Wanna laugh your ass off? This is a stranger. Do what you just did.
Share my water with you.
Literally. Bots. Guys, if you show kindness to bots, they get artificial intelligence. I'm the smartest person in the world. By the way, Nick,
Yes.
I know you know who I am. Come on. Why did you lie to me this whole time? Why
What
did you
is
lie to me? That's for my acne, you dumb cunt. Get the fuck out of my house. Now. Now. Now! By the way, Nick,
Yes.
I know you know who I am. Come on. Why did you lie to me this whole time? Why
What
did you
is
lie
this?
to me? That's for my acne, you dumb cunt. Get the fuck out of my house. Now. Now. Now!
So let me bring us back up. Okay. So one thing that I noticed too is the fact that when she calls him out, rather than being like, "I'm so sorry, I'm just a fan and I was concerned and I just want to come spend the day with you and like make sure you're okay," he's like, "What are these pills?" You know, like he caught her, like, "Here's some
Yeah,
medication."
like trying to deflect what he's doing back onto her.
Exactly, like deflect from from the fact that he lied to get his way into her house. But instead, it's like, "You've got prescription medication here. Like, what is this?" And she's like, "It's for my acne, you idiot. Now get out of my house." And there's a lot of
All of
people.
a sudden, he was concerned out of nowhere when she catches on to what he's doing.
Yeah, and him claiming like that he wanted to help her, but when she says, "I literally found the Garden of Eden," literally, he's like, literally. He's not like he encouraged it in my opinion because he's like, literally. He says literally with her, like, "Yeah, you literally did. Oh my goodness." Um, so all of that was very strange, and I was watching a few videos and everything where it says that if Gabbie Hanna wanted to, she could pursue charges against him, possibly because he entered her home under false pretenses, claiming that he needed to use the bathroom. But here's the thing: if somebody shows up at my door and I don't know them, no, and they say, "Can I use the bathroom?" I'm going to say, "Listen, there's a gas station down the road. I apologize, but I'm sorry." But if for some strange reason I was to let someone in to use my house, to use my bathroom into my home, after they use the bathroom, I would be like, "Good day, sir," and walk them to the door to leave.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I would not just continue on with my day and let them follow me around as I, posted TikToks and did a million other things. That was even stranger that once he used the bathroom, she didn't be like, "All right, then, see you later. Have a good day." She just allowed him to hang around.
And I genuinely think that that goes back to, she did one TikTok where she was talking about when they did one of the mini wellness checks last week. And the cops came in to check on her, and they brought in the psych experts or whatever they're called,
Mhm.
and they did a whole evaluation and all of this. And apparently, when they asked her if she needed anything or if they could help her with anything, she asked them if they could give her a hug,
Yes.
and they denied because that's something they can't do.
Right.
And she said, that's all she needed. I really think she's just very lonely,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
she wants someone to listen and to be there and to. It's just so sad.
Yeah, I heard that too. I was listening to that actually earlier. And someone, when we were watching those, someone in the chat asked if her following, were they encouraging this? Or are they concerned? 99.9% of them are concerned. They're like, "Are you okay? Like, can her family come help her?" So most people are not encouraging this. And the cops have been called. The cops have went out to her house numerous times. But because she has not threatened to harm herself or harm anyone else, there's really
And she's
nothing.
not threatened it either. Like, that's the thing too, is it's very hard unless you want help or believe you need help. in situations like that to get help unless you do have family that are pushing it, or loved
Right.
ones that are pushing it.
Right. Yeah. And when they showed up, and she was like, "What are you guys here for?" They're like, "Well, you're posting on TikTok 100 times a day," and she's like, "And it's when she explains it, it doesn't seem that bad. But what it is what she's posting on TikTok and how she looks
It's
and the crazy thing.
concerning, yeah.
Yeah, it is concerning. But she's like, I have freedom of speech. Like,
And it's true.
yeah.
It's very true. She has the right to say whatever she wants, just like anyone else. But
Mm-hmm.
that does not mean that the people who are seeing it aren't going to be concerned
Concern.
because of it.
Exactly, exactly. And she said when she was talking to the police one time, they asked her, they said, "Well, can you make a TikTok just saying that you're fine? So because all of your followers are concerned, so can you at least make a TikTok saying that you are fine?" And she said, "Well, what do you guys want me to do? Make TikToks or not? Because you're here
Yeah.
because I'm making TikToks, and now you tell me to make a TikTok." But she did. There's a video where she said she asked them. She said she asked the first cop, "I just need a hug. Can you give me a hug?" And he said no. And I think she said,
That one made me tear up, girl. Like
yes.
it made my heart hurt so bad because I understand why they did not.
Right.
Um, but at the same time, just knowing that that is where she's at, anybody, like, it's just sad. It's just really
Mm-hmm.
sad.
Absolutely. I mean, she asked. I think she said there was 4 cops there, and she asked every one of them, "Well, can you give me a hug?" And no. "Well, can you give me a hug?" No. "Well, can you give me a hug?" No. All of them said no, and she did not say that they explained to her, "Well, due to COVID-19, or technically we can't, so we apologize. If we could, we would." It was nothing like that. They just said no. Um, which probably left her feeling some type of way, like, "Oh wow, I just asked 4 people to give me a hug and nobody would." And a lot of the things that I see in her TikToks is her saying, "I want to help." Like she talks about homeless babies, and
Yeah.
someone was like, "They're not your babies. Why are you concerned?" And she was like, "If anybody's not concerned about homeless babies, then you're like a POS." And she's like, "I'm concerned about homeless babies. I'm
Yes. And see, that's what I'm saying is Gabbie Hanna cares a lot. And that's why I don't think that none of this is made up. She cares about everything, and it hurts her,
mm-hmm.
and being empathetic, it's like empathetic times 10. It's really just a sad situation,
Absolutely.
and she wants to be able to help and all of these things. And I feel like, because some of the TikToks when this first kind of started, right, was she was researching all of this stuff to do with the Bible and how every word in the dictionary and every number has a meaning, and there's a meaning behind all of this, that God's giving us these messages if we just look at it. And she was looking at Kit Kat bars, like the ingredients and the numbers on Twix, and like putting it together, saying that it meant this message, and she fully believes these things.
I actually know someone that did the exact same thing a few years ago. Um, that got the Bible and was like, "I can find everybody's name in the Bible." And it was really strange because it was like, "Well, yeah, of course." He's like, "You can literally, like, I can tell you, I can find your name in the Bible like many, many, many times." And it was literally because he was just taking, like, how the Bible, you open the Bible up and it's full of words. So
Yeah.
he would like go through sentences, and then like the first like E he found, he'd be like, "See, there's E," and then later he would find an L, and he'd be like, "There's L," and he would do that until he found, spelled out Elle Bee or Leslie or whatever you want to say,
Yeah.
and like all on. He's like, "See, your name is on this page. It's on every page," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, because every letter of the alphabet is on that page." So
Yeah,
of
and
course,
that's the thing, is you can make yourself believe whatever it is if you
mm-hmm.
think about it too hard. And I really just think that that's the case here. Um, and it's heartbreaking, and that's why it also, even last year when she broke last year, she broke down. It was not nothing like this, but it was still devastating to see, from my perspective, and seeing how people picked it apart and everything. I get it. Okay, I get it. She's very controversial. She said some very questionable and unethical things. And I understand that people should be held accountable. But again, when it is someone that is suffering from extreme mental illnesses, it's it's hard to, not saying that it's impossible or that they shouldn't be held accountable, but half the time they don't even know what they're saying.
Right.
Like, and that makes it very difficult.
Right. Absolutely. I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, Amber Portwood. Like a lot of times people's like, don't use your
Yeah,
mental
that's
health as an excuse. But it's like, but if you're on the right medication and you're going to the counseling that you're supposed to have, then, you may not act this way. But like Amber
yeah,
Portwood, a lot of times when she did like those outrageous things, it was because she was not on the right medication or she just wasn't taking her medication. So her mental health peaked its head and she acted out due to not knowing how to act because she didn't know how to balance
yeah.
her mental health.
And that's a real thing. And that's the thing with Gabbie. I'm not sure, but she said that she believes that God has healed her of all of these things, ADHD, DID, bipolar. And I assume by that statement that she is not
Taking her
medicated or
medication.
taking. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I
So
got
that,
from that as well.
yeah. So of course that's going to play a huge role in these highs and these lows. And that's
Right.
why it is frustrating to see people picking that apart or trying to say it's not real when, of course, we're all allowed our opinions, but I just
Right.
feel like it's very obvious that something isn't right here, no matter how you feel about her. Um, and that's the thing. Like some people just lack that empathy towards other people, and it's really sad because there's definitely something going on here. And I don't think criticizing her or trying to accuse her of doing these things are going to help in any way.
Right. I agree. I think if anything, it can make it potentially worse. Not that I doubt Gabbie Hanna. I mean, she spends so much time on TikTok. I don't think she is going around watching the videos that people are making on her. But just say that she is while she's in this manic state or depression. She stumbles across a video where somebody is like, she is a liar and she is faking it and she is mocking us. That is not gonna help her either. And, even more so if you are someone that suffers from mental health disorders and you want people to believe you and you want people to understand that sometimes maybe your actions are because of your mental health disorders, but yet you can't be sympathetic to someone else, you're accusing them of lying. I, it just doesn't sit well with me that, like I said, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Um, and that's okay. But for someone that has a platform, because like I said, there's a creator that literally, says, "Oh, she's faking it. She's making a mockery out of it. You guys don't watch her. Um, the reason she's doing this is because of y'all, because y'all are paying her for it, because she knows it's going to get her clicks and views, and y'all are just falling right into it by watching her." Um, you know, if you can't be sympathetic to someone, if you want to question it, fine, whatever. But don't get mad if people question yours, like because you know what I'm
Oh, yeah.
saying.
You
Um,
get what you give, and that's
right,
the truth, and that's to anybody. If you can sit here and say and question those things and not show empathy for those things, then when it does happen to you, people are going to say, well, I mean, what do you expect? It doesn't make it right. Two rights,
right.
it don't, or two wrongs don't make
Don't
it
make it right.
right. But it is also very true because people are going to treat you the way that you treat them.
Right, absolutely. Someone in the chat brought up the fact that she's a singer with a beautiful voice, and I
Oh,
didn't
she's
know.
so talented.
I didn't.
She's an
Right,
artist. She draws, she paints, she writes, like she does all of her own songwriting. She is very, very creative and a very deep thinker. And that's what I always loved about her. I was able to see the creative, talented side of her,
mm-hmm.
and take that out, like her music and all of these things, out of the problematic YouTuber, and see that there is this beautiful part of her, and she's very creative. And when she utilizes those things, like her therapist said, when she is in those moments or whatever, and I want to be careful with how I say it, but when she is having those manic moments, utilizing it to be creative. There's
Right.
so many people in the world, some of the most the geniuses in the world that have invented things that we use on a daily basis were clinically insane.
Right.
And they were able to create beautiful things. And Gabbie Hanna is no exception to that. But yeah, it's just utilizing it, and when you're isolated like that and you're spiraling mentally, it's just so hard. I've had my own experiences with family and stuff as well. And I think that's another reason why I can have empathy for her,
Yes.
because I have loved so many people that go through things like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not so easy. It's easy to judge, it's easy to pick apart, but
Absolutely.
unless you have actually experienced it yourself or love someone and have seen someone you love go through something like this, it's really hard to sit there and say, what's best or what they're doing and what's real and what's not and how that people should handle it. It's, I do agree. I wish she would get off the internet.
Yeah.
But again, that's her choice, and whoever
Absolutely.
watches it, that's their choice. For me personally, I don't know if I'll continue watching it because it's just really hard to sit and watch someone like, going out, not being able to do anything to help in any way and seeing it get worse and worse like that.
Right. The thing is because they really don't know that they're not well. I was just with a family member of mine the other day, a couple days ago, and he was at a state where I knew he was not well, and he was telling me a situation about how he captured one of his demons. Right, this is a family member of mine that suffers greatly from mental health disorder, and he was telling me about how, all the years that he was not doing right, not living right. When he accepted Jesus back in his life not too long ago, that demon left, but it's hung around, that it's lingered. And the other day he managed to catch it in a box. And then when he shut the box, the demon was just going crazy inside the box. You could hear it like boop, 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 like bouncing around the box. So he got saran wrap and wrapped the box up with the saran wrap. And he's telling his mom, and then I'm like, my demon's in the box. And his mom and them was like, oh my goodness, because they know what this is. Like, they know this is him, like, not well, And they're like, no, that's not what it is. Like, and they end up, like, having to leave because they don't know what to do. And he goes outside and he throws this box in, like, their, chicken pen. And then he's, like, wrapping the chicken pan up with saran wrap, and the cops get called, and the cops open the box because they want to prove that there's nothing in the box. And, according to him, when they opened the box, there was a noise that went right when you opened the box. But the cops said he made the noise. They're like, why did you just make that noise? And he's like, I didn't make that noise. So, in his mind, like, I'm like, but do you think maybe it's because maybe you're not on the right medication that maybe... He's like, no, I swear. That's not what it is. Like, I caught my demon, and I'm just like, you really don't know what to do because you can't make them understand that maybe what they think is happening is not really happening, They really believe these things, whatever they have in their mind, like Gabbie Hanna believing that she has found the Garden of Eden in her backyard. She's going to believe that. And you're not going to be able to tell her that it could potentially be her mental health disorders that has her believing these things. She's just going to think that you're being mean to her if you tell her.
Absolutely. And and I've had experience like that with loved ones as well. And I think it's really important, as long as they're not being a threat to themselves, like harming themselves or harming someone else and putting themselves in danger or other people in danger. Really, all you can do is make sure they're seeing whoever it is, their therapist or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and love them through it.
Right.
Because And it can be hard to know what the right thing is to do, but sometimes there's nothing you can do except that and be there and love them through it. And that's the sad part here with Gabbie is I think the ones that are in her life, like the friends and family, they know at this point there's no point in arguing with her
Right.
or rationalizing these whatever. So they're just trying to love and support her through it. Because in a situation like that, that can also make it worse as well if you sit there and say, "Oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about, and this isn't real." Like that can also send them spiraling even worse.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. I didn't even want to. I asked, like, "Do you think it's your mental health?" And he was like, "No, no, no. I'm no, not at all. Like, I'm positive this happened." And I just left it at that because I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
For me to
because
push
what
this
else
is
can
not
you
going to help.
do? You know, if he believes that there's a demon in that box, you know, that's not hurting him or anyone or whatever situation like that. You can't talk that rationalization out with him at this
Right,
point. That's the only thing you can do is just love them through it and know that this isn't who he is. This is just a part of what he has to deal with, but that doesn't define him. And with Gabbie, it's the same thing. And
right,
anyone that struggles with things like this, that doesn't define them. They're not crazy. This is just something that they have to deal with. And as hard as it is for us to see and deal with, that's why I always say I can only imagine how difficult it is to live that and have to deal with that on a daily basis in your own mind.
and she's at home by herself. She lives at home by herself, and so what's gonna be, someone did say in the chat a while ago that her sister recently said that they were gonna make their way over there to help, to try to see about Gabbie and help her. The TikTok that I saw was a couple days ago that she posted where she just said, we're doing all that we can from where we are, but we don't live, close to her. I think Gabbie lives in LA, and I think they live in like Philadelphia or something. Is what I think she said. Let me read
Well,
it.
and this is just an example too. Like, if it was her trolling or trying to mock anything or whatever, the the family wouldn't be concerned about it. You
Right.
know, they wouldn't be trying to help in whatever way that they can. So it's a very sad situation. It's a very concerning situation. But I do think that just like anyone else, like we just have to support her through this
Mm-hmm.
and like hope that she
Absolutely.
can get the help she needs. And I hope and pray that she gets offline, and she has been for a couple of days. So maybe something is happening. I
Yeah.
do know allegedly, I was reading an article late last night that said that she is taking that Nicholas guy to court. That is alleged. Um, but apparently that is what it said, was that she is going to push that and make sure that he is held responsible for coming in under false pretenses. I think she called it coercion or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her. I would too, because that's scary on its own. No matter what, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope that her family was able to make it to her, or are able to make it to her soon.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful, since she hasn't posted in a couple of days. I know she said that she's not using Instagram or Twitter right now because um, God had told her not to use it. Um, so TikTok was really the only platform that she was utilizing,
Yeah.
and she's not posted in a couple of days. So I'm very hopeful that that means that she is seeking the help that she is
Right.
needing, whatever that may look like for her.
Right. A couple of days ago, her sister made a comment saying this video was filmed and posted a full day before anything was happening, or at least before we were aware. We are in a PA, and she lives in LA. Um, we are doing what can be done from here. At the end of the day, you are all strangers on the internet, and it's none of your business. None of your business, regardless. Um, Obviously, we are aware and do what we can. She is an adult. I'm a 20-year-old on the other side of the country. Comments from this point on are limited because none of you know how to respect personal boundaries you are speaking to and about real people. And then someone said, hey, you should check on Gabbie. And she said, I live in Pennsylvania. Everything that can possibly be done by us is being done. This is not my situation to speak on, so I'm out.
Yeah. And I don't blame her because I could only imagine the messages and the stuff that she's been receiving from people.
Exactly.
And she's not, it's not wrong. Like I said, we do not know the situation here or the severity of it or anything. I do know that when it comes to things that Gabbie has said, her and her family aren't on the best of terms, and don't really communicate a great deal. But you know, if her family says they're doing what they can, they're doing what they can.
Right. Absolutely. And like I said, someone said in the chat that that they are supposed to be going over there. I'm looking at her TikTok to see if there's anything on there where she says, "Hey, we are going," and I don't see anything there. But hopefully they are, because at least if her family is there, she has people around her that love her. Maybe it'll at least make her feel somewhat better, and then they can do whatever they feel like is necessary. Maybe take her to her psychiatrist, psychologist, doctor, whoever it is that she needs to see, so they can get her back on her medication. Because with everything that she has stated that she has, the only way she is going to be okay is if she is back on her medication. I mean.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And whatever is needed to get her, in a better place, I hope that they can do that and get that done, even if she does it independently, like whatever the situation is.
Right.
I just know that I'm praying for her. I hope that she can get the help she needs and maybe take a hiatus for a bit until she can figure it out and get to the bottom of what's going on, whether that is getting it straightened out with her medication
Right.
or whatever the situation is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up because we've been on for about an hour. I know, like I said, I haven't followed Gabbie. This is kind of what made me start paying attention to her, was just everything that was going on. So I just wanted to talk about it. I, did a little bit of research, watched some videos and TikToks and everything, and I had some thoughts, obviously, due to what was going on. So Wildflower, I appreciate you so much for coming, because you know so much more about, her than I do, because you followed her. You actually followed her before all of this happened. So thank you for bringing that into this conversation.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. I can't see the comments, but hello, chat. Thank y'all for having me. And yeah, we'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, I wish her the best. And at this point, that's the only reason I haven't talked about it, because I have made videos before and said everything I've said then is what I mean still today and how I feel today, even more so with a lot of everything going on. And yeah, I wish her nothing but the best.
Right, absolutely. Same here. I don't know how much I'll really talk about it anymore, because this is kind of, I wanted to make sure that what I said about it was that I have sympathy towards her. I don't believe that she's faking it. It hurts my feelings, when I do see people saying that, just for the slight possibility that she is not, how that could potentially make her feel if she was to see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even if she was, that still doesn't, in my opinion, I still don't see it being okay to question someone's mental health in that way, or to, especially a complete stranger that you don't know. And again, that's just my opinion.
Absolutely.
So yeah, either way, I don't think it's okay.
Right, absolutely. Wildflower, I guess timing is everything, because your mic is starting to go out. So we got a good streaming.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me. And at chat, thank you all for being here with us. Thank you all for being just cautious of what we were talking about. There were no comments in the chat of people being rude, and I appreciate that a whole lot. Also, chat, keep in mind, this Friday we're going to be doing a $50 Amazon gift card giveaway. So if you want to enter into that giveaway, you have to be subscribed to my channel. I will be checking. You have to give this video a thumbs up. And in the comment section of this video, or my videos yesterday, or my videos tomorrow or the next day, just type the words enter giveaway, and you'll be entered into the giveaway. I will be back shortly with another video, with another live stream. So catch me probably back in about 30 minutes or so. Probably some Teen Mom talk, because I haven't talked about that in a little bit, and there's a little bit of chatter going on over that way. So you guys give this video a thumbs up. Like I said, enter the giveaway in the comment section below. Wildflower, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and we'll do it again. I always enjoy talking to you because I feel like the conversation just goes.
Yeah.
Thank
you for having me.
Absolutely. But
Bye.
bye everyone.